But without further ado, we have the whole ViewAskew Universe cast here. Very privileged. So I'm going to introduce them up to the stage. Coming up to the stage, I guess let's do them in order. You know him, you love him as Dante Hicks. He's the world's greatest New York Rangers fan for whatever reason. And he's the star of Clerks, Clerks II, Clerks III, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, The Happening, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, The Happening. You may have enjoyed the back of his head in that movie. Everybody, please give it up for Brian O'Halloran, everybody. Brian O'Halloran. Also coming up to the stage. Go for it.
Nice,
you look like you have something to say.
Fucking someone's been reading my IMDb. Lovely.
It's very deep, your IMDb. Coming to the stage next, you know him as Randall Graves, also Clerks, Clerks II, Clerks III. And I think one of my favorite things is just watching him enter the convention world. It was a long time coming, and I'm glad he is here. Everybody give it up for Jeff Anderson, everybody. Jeff Anderson. World's biggest Denver Broncos fan. He loves Russell Wilson. He loves him. Coming up to the stage, who's leading this mob? She makes the world's best lasagna. Please give it up for Marilyn Ghigliotti. 37? 37.
Hello.
Also coming up to the stage, he's been described, I've been described as the Elias of Jan Silver's Secret Stash, but you know him as Elias from movies. Please welcome to the stage, Trevor Fehrman, everybody. And last but not least, at his very first Comic-Con, you know him as Kinky Kelly. He may have brought the sexy stud, and he is a sexy stud. Give it up for Zach Knutson, everybody. Hey. Grab your mic, my friend.
Hey.
What's up, my friends? Zach.
Sir.
Welcome to GalaxyCon, your first ever convention. Are you having a great time?
I'm having a wonderful time.
Are the Buckeyes here treating you with dignity and respect?
That's a ballsy joke to make after last week's game, dude. Are you kidding me? After the Michigan-Ohio game last week?
I had to do it, man. I had to do it. We've gotten so much grief, but
we can lynch him afterwards. Here. It's all good. We can all the Ohio fans. We can take care of Ming afterwards. I'm not nervous at all.
Am I the only one here who doesn't care about sports? Okay, great.
We got a few out there.
We all found each other.
Wrong crowd to bring sports up with.
And Marilyn.
Zach is having a great time, but he misses his donkey.
I should have remembered that myself.
I'm just glad that somebody didn't bring an actual live donkey to you to sign or something.
Not yet.
Although we haven't had photo ops tomorrow, so who knows what'll happen.
There's that.
You're a giant ass, so anything can happen? What the? All right.
Don't ever talk to yourself that way
Stuffed donkey,
again.
maybe.
It was going to get this way. You
I'll
knew it.
stick up
His
for
first
you.
question would be like, so, about the donkey. Do you visit that child in Mexico from time to time?
Which, if you do want to ask that, there's an audience mic right here. If anybody wants to line up and ask a question. Zach, I do have a story about Zach. Many years ago, Kevin decided he was not going to make movies anymore. And as such, he's like, well, I've got this whole warehouse full of props from all the movies. I want to auction it all. I would just want to give it out to the fans that that really want this stuff. So we put a lot of the Clerks II items off for auction, like the Moobies sign was up there from the restaurant, like the slide, like the Happy Fun slide outside was up for auction, and I was helping list some of the items. And then I'm digging through the box and I pull out this leather harness.
No.
And
You're goddamn right you did.
I think there were chaps and like a cod piece, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I was like, oh. And it had a tag on it. It said Kinky Kelly on it. And,
So I'm just curious, how much did Jay pay for that?
Jay did not win that auction.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Interestingly enough,
He used a straw buyer?
That auction there was some heavy bidding on that item. It actually went for it's like $200-300.
$200-300 for sweaty shorts,
Cha-ching,
Jay.
motherfucker. Cha-ching.
And
How much for your underwear right now, son?
So it
Yeah, I didn't think
Answer
so.
the question.
didn't think so.
I
By
got
the way,
nothing for
if you're just
I think he
walking
wants us
into
to
this,
bid on him.
yeah, if you're just walking into this and you don't know what panel you're in, it's very, very rated R. So if you're here with young children or you don't want that long car ride home, or like, why were they talking about snowballing? This is your fair warning that you may want to start taking your kid out to buy them whatever the fuck they want right now, just to avoid a very awkward car ride. There you go, you've been warned.
Half of the kids would explain it to us.
Yeah. It's more like, hey, have you heard of pitch and putt yet? I'm like, what the fuck is pitch and putt? And they'll come up with some sort of sexual innuendo.
So it turned out that Zach was about to get married. His future wife won that auction, gave it to him as a wedding present. So he is now the proud owner of.
Well, there's a tag to that story because somebody else had won the auction, but you were helping her track the guy down. And then once Kevin found out that she wanted the outfit, he got involved and he like took care of the guy or whatever. She got it. And then the whole deal was my wife wanted me to open up my sexy stud outfit in front of my future father-in-law, who's from Little Rock, Arkansas. You know, they love the donkey fucking down there in Little Rock. And the problem is we got the stuff, or she got it, and she was like, I wasn't supposed to tell you, but I think you should take a look. And everything was there, the mask, the little things. But there was one thing missing, and it was the chaps. The chaps were missing. But there was also a pair of underwear that were wardrobe pinned in there that were not mine. So somewhere out there, somebody's sporting my chaps from Clerks II, and I hope they're going to a good use. There you go.
Jeff Anderson, everybody. Jeff Anderson.
So you didn't realize all the coverage of the body parts? That was him. He was your body double.
Yeah, I'm glad you went to the gym.
So here's the $1 million question. Did you wear it on your wedding night?
You're goddamn right I did.
Yeah!
Yeah, we never did find
That
those
outfit
chaps.
was tame.
I looked everywhere.
I'm just curious, though, in the middle of your, first time as husband and wife coitus, at the moment, did you go, I miss my donkey?
Tell us all about the first time you guys had sex. Leave no detail
Can you do it
out.
slowly, please?
The second, usually somebody who's a Clerks fan puts me together and then they see my wife, I can see them like, when can I say the donkey line to that lady right there? They're like dying to say it. There's no tag to that, sorry.
So, like, what position did you start with?
Well,
how long did
donkey.
it go? All right, moving on.
So yeah,
We're trying here, folks, trying.
shout out to Molly Knutson, who
Yes,
who
my
bought
beautiful,
that.
wonderful wife, Molly, who is, of course, very understanding and also likes interspecies erotica.
Nice.
Yes.
Real quick, how long did that scene take to shoot? Do you have any good stories?
I was telling Trevor, he was mentioned a couple things. I was like, I do not fucking remember that at all.
Well, you were pretty drunk at the time.
Yeah. When we shot the thing, all the crew from Clerks II, I had been working with for about a year prior to that, so I knew all those guys really well, which doesn't make, and I was working with them as a producer, which doesn't make dressing up in black leather really great, kind of thing. And I walked out, and the gaffer, Jeremy Graham, just looked at me and started going, you're never going to be able to turn me down for overtime ever again, motherfucker. You know that, right? Like, yeah, pretty much.
It
was good.
If Me Too was a thing back then, we would all be Me Too.
Over. It's over, Johnny. But, no, I don't. I literally, all the dancing stuff I kind of blocked out, to be honest with you. I just kind of, just did it, and if Kevin came up and was like, no, that was good, he was laughing, I was like, oh, thank God.
Usually,
and if Scott Mosier was laughing, I was like, oh, then we're really doing okay. And after that, immediately afterwards, though, you guys were still working, they cut me. I went to my favorite bar, and I got shit-faced drunk that night. Just shit-faced drunk. So, yeah, I had to wash that one off. But it was good.
It's funny because usually victims of violence like that have a blackout period as well. In some way. Not I'm laughing at fucking assault. I'm just saying I'm laughing at assault. Anyway, sir, what do you got there?
Yes, your question, please.
Question, please.
Hi, my name's Andrew. I'm a big fan. I was wondering if you had a favorite scene that you were in any of the Clerks films.
Well, we've established that he doesn't remember his only scene in any of the
Yep.
films.
I don't remember mine.
Trevor, would any of your favorite scenes of the two Clerks films?
Yeah, I mean, I really like Zach's scene in the jail. I think that's really funny. All of his stuff, gotta finish. And I miss my donkey. Those are some of my favorite parts.
I laugh at everybody else telling the stories about me.
Jeff, what's your favorite scene from any
I
of the
have
Clerks?
no favorite scenes from those movies.
Like I said, people who have assault, plan of right now, I'm just kidding. One of my favorite scenes that I like to reminisce about was the go-kart scene from Clerks II. We had spent all day at a go-kart track in Orange County, California, and it was amazing. It was just so much fun. I was like a kid again, and we were there for like all morning, shooting most of the scene you see at the go-kart track. Then we braked for lunch, and then we were doing like coverage again after lunch. And they were like, break, that's lunch. And people got up and went to go eat wherever lunch was. I didn't get out of the car at all. I was like, you know what? Is it all right if I just keep fucking around? I mean, I'm fat enough. I don't need to eat. Can I just keep going around? They were like, oh, okay, sure. So I'd put on sunglasses to then go around and drive at my own leisure and really like spin out and shit. And I didn't know that they told the DP to start shooting O'Halloran just by himself. So if you watch the movie again, the scene that you see Dante with sunglasses, that's just Brian O'Halloran on fucking lunch. Because I never would have taken the non-continuity move and put glasses on in the middle of something. But it was so weird that they used it, not catching the continuity mistake. I'm like, what? I was just me on
The
lunch.
scripty wasn't doing his job.
Right. Like Dante is like, hey, I'm having fun on the thing. But Brian was like, yeah, I'm having fun on the go-karts. Which would have been too much. So that's one of my favorite scenes. You know, you would think I'm like making out with Rosario Dawson was awesome, and making out with Kevin's real wife was awkward. But you know, go-karts, simple man, simple needs.
I had a very good time messing up that scene where Brian had to kiss Kevin's wife. I had to walk into that scene. I just kept tripping or just making noise, so he had to keep making out with her. I thought that was fantastic.
What made it more awkward was it was just Kevin behind the monitor. There was no crew, no cameraman. I'm like, Kevin, aren't we filming this? No, just keep going. Told you, if you didn't walk out before, you shouldn't.
They're from Ohio. They've heard all of
Marilyn,
this.
what's your favorite scenes of any of the Clerks
And you're
movies?
talking about like what I shot, right?
Yeah.
Our scene in the car.
Clerks
in
3?
Clerks 3.
Yeah.
Have you have you all seen Clerks 3? All right, fantastic. If you haven't, you're screwed. We're spoiling the hell out of it. So, sorry.
What, we have a scene in a car. That's all you need to know. Yeah. A Range Rover. Yeah.
Although, yeah, not
She's moved up in life.
There's kind of two separate scenes. One of them you can see, one of them you can't. But really, nothing was going on there.
Yeah.
Did you have to clarify that? Yeah. Okay. Have people asked?
Well, when
like,
you
what
think
was
about
like?
it, yeah. It's like a three-parter.
You know, the movie magic, you know.
I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it did. Thanks.
There you go. Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
up.
Great question. Great question. Thank
Who
you.
do we have next?
Hi.
Hi, my name is Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
How are you all?
We're doing good.
Good. You enjoying Ohio so far?
Absolutely.
Ohio's been good so far.
Good, good. So I think, oh gosh, I've been watching you forever, right?
Is that you outside my house? I'm wondering.
I mean, I'm not gonna divulge that information in public, sir. So you all had such great chemistry throughout the whole trilogy. What got you back into the mindset between 2 and 3 after all those years?
It's weird. Jeff
well,
and I.
I'm just asking Trevor, actually.
Oh,
Thank
sorry.
you.
Trevor,
I'll field this one.
Hey, Trevor, there's your mom.
Trevor, you're on the
for
clock.
fuck's sake, sir. Thanks for that.
I'll field this one person I definitely did not put up to this. I'll pay you later. No, I don't know. It was easy. Like I was a little apprehensive. I think, like, as anyone would be, not having acted for a long time, just like what it was going to be like. But within 10 minutes of because we did a table read over at this house that they were renting in New Jersey, and I don't know. We just all really actually get along with each other, except for Jeff and I. That's all an act. But the rest of us get along pretty well, and it was just easy. I don't know. I wish I had a more complicated, interesting answer to that. Maybe you guys felt differently than I did, but I thought.
Trevor, it's weird. You've never told me you had a sister who lived here in Ohio. The plant question, like it's only for Trevor. And by the way, Mom says you need to call.
Yeah. Thanks,
That-
sis. I mean, fuck.
Did he answer your question?
Yes.
There you go.
Thank
Give it
you
a
all
round.
so
Applause,
much.
Teresa, everybody.
I I mean, do you two want to answer that? Do you guys want to answer
No,
that
no,
as well?
that, she didn't ask that.
No, I really did.
If she wants that information, she knows where to find me. I'm on the
I really
fucking aisle.
did put her up to that. I think
Okay,
she probably
that'll
does.
cost you.
No, whatever. Sounds good. Reminds me of my prom date, who was like, no, I'm not asking you, Brian. I'm asking the dude over there.
I can't help but feel partly responsible for this.
What? How you doing, sir?
Yes,
Hey,
your
hey,
question.
everybody.
Hello.
Nice to see you all again.
Good to see you.
But my question's for Jeff, because I didn't ask you this when I saw you last time. I'm a huge fan of Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Hilarious movie, very underrated. And I want to know what you think about, or how you felt about playing a different character in the ViewAskew universe, because you always play Randall and you're associated with him so much, to play somebody else who, by the way, almost steals the movie, who's great. I mean, and I got and among
What do you mean almost?
You must be related to me.
I was just about to say, Jeff, you never said you had a brother in Ohio.
Everybody have family in Ohio?
I've been saving up the ass
None.
kissing for a while 'cause I've only seen you one time so far. I've kissed Brian's ass 100 times. So,
I never told you I have a lover in Ohio.
but I'd also like to hear about some of your experiences working on Zack and Miri compared to the others, because it's a whole different situation than the ViewAskew stuff. And particularly, I got to hear about, getting frosted like the cake. 'Cause that's
For those
still-
who haven't seen Zack and
that's-
Miri, he's not talking about a cake.
that's even now when I see it, it still cracks me up.
Well,
If Jeff doesn't have any stories, I got a couple for you after that one.
I am a terrible actor, so I just grew a goatee.
No,
for the
you're
part.
not.
I just grew a goatee for the part. That was it. Yeah, no,
Like
it-
evil Hercules.
Just say it. You want it to look like me.
I actually tried to do that before we shot Clerks III. I asked Kevin if I could come to the set wearing a goatee. And I had the idea that Brian and I would shoot a scene where I would come in and I'd be reading a newspaper, and at some point I'd put the newspaper down and Randall would have a goatee. And Brian would be like, "What the fuck are you doing with a goatee?" I was like, "I thought it's a pretty good look. I wanted to try it too." I thought we'd have fun with that, but apparently the
You're
crowd
always
doesn't.
have two girls fighting over you. I thought maybe that's the point.
And the shit scene, I was in my hotel room very early in the morning and I got a phone call. And it was from a guy who identified himself as a food scientist. And he wanted to know if I had any allergies to any kind of food. And he said, "Well, I'm making the shit right now, so I just want to check on you." I think the shit wound up being cake batter, pudding, and just before we shot, Kevin threw a can of corn in.
Nice touch, by the way.
That was a lot of people weren't filming that day, like Seth and Elizabeth. They weren't working that day, but everybody came to the set to watch the shit on scene. Yeah,
Well, it's priceless.
we actually only shot the actual shit part once, and that wasn't a bad thing. The worst part of it is, like, after that scene, I run out into the parking lot and talk to Craig. It was only 8 degrees that day, and the shit was freezing to my face. So that part wasn't too fun, but I enjoyed getting shit on. I do not want to see GIFs of that on the
Can
internet,
we please
by
take
the
that
way.
out of context? I need that YouTube
I
clip.
enjoy getting shit on. I enjoy getting shit on. I don't want that.
Somebody's
going viral.
I just got my new ringtone for you. Boom.
All right, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Hello, your question.
How you doing? Honestly, you guys have such fucking great humor, but you mentioned earlier, like, if we were in the Me Too movement, you probably would get shut down, a lot of hate mail, whatever. I mean, you've had to have had hate mail with the type of stuff you guys make fun of. I think about, like, the trilogy where you were making fun of the Lord of the Rings, like, anything at all that you got a lot of people to, like, give you grief over?
No, not grief over the movies in general. No, not really. I mean, they're the general haters of Kevin and the work in general. But no one's like, that whole thing with you fucking making out with Rosario, totally unbelievable. You'll get those occasional things, but we've never had someone like, how dare you do this misogynistic kind of fucking humor, blah, blah, blah.
Most of the grief that we get are from the hobbits.
Yeah.
we did a couple cons with those guys, and there was one guy who had a VIP pass to take his picture with those guys, and he was allowed to bring somebody to the picture. So he asked if I would be his guest. And we went in and took a picture, and we were both holding a sign that said, "Even the trees walked in those movies."
Oh my God.
In all fairness, though, all those guys are great sports. We literally set up a shot with me, Trevor, and Jeff, where we got someone from food services to get us an onion ring. And so we had Trevor holding up an onion ring, and me and Jeff are just like, whatever. And all the hobbits are clamoring to get the onion ring. I have the photo. Eventually, I want to put it up on social media. This literally is the last big show that we're all doing this year. So after this is done, I have a whole bunch of shit that I got to put up from all, like a huge photo drop soon on my social media, and that'll be one of them. But they're great sports. We've done a few different versions of that photo. That's been a lot of fun. And Billy and Dominic and Elijah and Sean, they're just fucking hilarious. Oh my God, and they love to drink and fucking it's crazy.
Before they do a con, they check to make sure we're not there.
Yeah. The other group of guys that have been really fun, it was almost the same group that traveled like a traveling circus, were the Trailer Park Boys from Canada. Yeah, exactly. Get around up.
I'm like,
They're
you guys, you're just like
Right.
such complimentary humor. For
Exactly, which I said to him, like, I said, the actor who plays Bubbles, he's one of the main writers of the show, and then we became friends, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if, I don't know, some of the clerks came into the trailer park for some reason, and maybe they weren't making enough at the store, that they just showed up at this trailer park, and he's like, oh, that's something we could think about. So, we'll see.
We were in Vancouver a while back, and I'd done a movie there a long time ago, and they have this really beautiful old historic bar with like dark wood furniture and leather and all this stuff. And so we would go there after the con. Anybody know what it is? Anyway, we would go there after the con, and the last night we were there, we were walking into this older part of the bar, and there was this like impeccably dressed maitre d' guy, like perfect coiffed hair, perfect suit, you know, everything. And he's, I'm sorry, there's a private party in the historic blah, blah, blah bar, you know. And we were like, okay. So we go to the newer part of the bar, and we sat down to get a drink, and the same maitre d' comes over to us, and he goes, I apologize for earlier. The Trailer Park Boys would like to invite you for cocktails in the historic blah, blah, blah bar.
He was He was apologizing profusely. So, I'm so sorry, but the Trailer Park Boys are welcoming you
Trailer
to their
Park Boys away to
in
our
this lush kind of like bougie bar. It was very funny.
And they all got in, and they wouldn't let me in, so I had to.
Oh yes, Randall, by all means,
Right
come
this
on in.
way, sir.
So we got in. I go in there expecting it to be like some form. They're just getting shit faced on Coors. They're just like, ah! It was fun. Nice guys.
Thank
Anyway,
you for your
there's my
question.
Trailer Park Boys,
Thank
sir.
you for stepping up.
Yeah. So this is more for the original three. So we know like the original Clerks was made on like a shoestring budget. I just similar to the first question, but like, what was your favorite like memory from filming the original movie?
Choking on Sour Patch Kids, sorry.
Remember, first they're sweet, then they're sour, or vice versa.
They are, and they go well with beer. My memory of it. One of the first things we shot was my scene with Marilyn, and you know, I'd never acted before. I wasn't in a movie, and we're sitting at the counter, and Scott Mosier, who was the sound guy, was sitting in front of the counter with the mic sort of down below. And I was nervous the first time I was doing it, so the first take we did of it, I was drumming on the counter. And we shot the scene, and Mosier popped up, and he was like, something's making fucking noise. So I didn't know. I was like, shit, what is that? So we did the second take, and I was knocking again, and I went, oh, shit, that's me. Like, I'm not allowed to knock?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was the first scene, and, you know, we only had enough film to do 1 or 2 takes, and it was like the first scene, so Kevin was immediately sweating, like, oh, man, we are going to go way over film.
I mean, I remember that we were the first to shoot and stuff like that. But oh gosh, it's like so many things to that, you know, just have that iconic memory to it. Shooting at night, the Yoo-Hoo, our crafty was the store. Me beating down on the bottom of your foot there, you know, when I get mad at Dante. Just so many, really.
Not the scene in the bathroom?
That wasn't me.
That's the other woman. That's the other girl.
You son of a bitch.
I love it. That was
How
the
dare
other
you.
one.
Someone has a bad memory. For me, I literally shot every fucking day of that shoot. So I was there every day, and some of the fun times, which was weird because we all literally worked 9 to 5 jobs. We'd get off of work, like I worked my 9 to 5 job. I'd go back to where I lived in New Brunswick, New Jersey. I'd fucking crash from like 5 o'clock till about 9:30. Get up, shower, shave, and then drive an hour down to where the store was, and then we'd film from like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night till like 5 or 6 in the morning. So towards the end of it, especially of the shoot, like the scene where Dante goes to get dressed up for his good date with Caitlin, and I come back, and he walks back in, Randall walks back in from the good video store, and I'm just like, I got a fine from, I was like deathly sick, and you can see that Dante's like deathly sick. He's like, oh, here you go, and it's a different tone of it. But the fun part of it was, was not so much the filming of it, was the after part, which was Kevin then edited the film all summer, and then we were accepted to the New York feature film market in October, and then we were then accepted into Sundance, and then that's when the crazy ride of like, people really find this funny? Like, other people aren't insulted by this? And that whole trip of it was kind of cool and really amazing about it. And it's something that if it was made today would just be lost on some streaming network somewhere. It wouldn't have caught on like I think it did that year in '94. So the whole ride afterwards, where we're all crashed in a giant condo in Park City, Utah, where the amount of money you paid into the renting of this condo is what your sleeping accommodations were. So you could pay for the bedroom and a bed. You could pay for a couch. You could pay for the kitchen table. You could pay for the dining room floor. So
I slept on an ironing board.
Yeah. But what was cool is you could adjust the height. That was what I liked about yours. So those type of things are the memories I take from the first one, all those type of things. As far as scenes go, the scene with Lisa Spoonhour, 7 minutes uncut, which was the second thing that was shot, where we go into the video store and I'm berating her, and she's solid, no cut, no ever. And I think we did it twice, but they kept literally the first take was one of the things I enjoyed the most.
Thank you.
And Brian talked about he was filming every night. I had one night off. And Kevin and Scott had asked me, like, well, tonight's your night off. What are you going to do when you on your night off? And that's when I said, I'm going to put on my Wranglers and I'm going out. So that's where the Randall walk came from. I was originally supposed to tap dance into the store. But when I did that, Kevin was like, we're putting that in the movie. So if I didn't have that one night off, we wouldn't have those magical moves.
True, but you would have been part of Riverdance. Think of it that way.
Your question, sir.
Yeah, so you was talking about meeting the Trailer Park Boys and stuff and love them, but I was wondering if there was anybody else you would want to work with or haven't met that you would like to meet or anything like that.
Zach, who would you like to work with if you had a chance to work with him?
Fucking everyone. James Mangold is kind of my hero at the moment. Him or Shane Black. Literally, I'm the donkey fucker. I'll do anything you want, guys. Just give me a call.
There you go. Trevor?
I've met a lot of cool people at these cons. I'm a big Star Trek: The Next Generation fan, so I got to meet some of those guys that I watched growing up. I also like Cowboy Bebop. I met some of those voice actors. They're really nice, and that's it. No, pretty much everyone I've met at these things have been really, really nice and cool. There are a couple of celebrities that are not so cool.
Do tell.
Yeah,
Tell him, motherfucker. Share.
No, I'm not testifying at his trial.
I'll leave it at that. Sorry.
No, they're not here. How about that?
No, he may be a guy.
Stop it. Fucking get banned for every con afterwards. Shut up.
It's such a good story, Trevor, please.
So Martin Cove is a piece of shit. All right, sorry.
Anyway.
Trevor's like a Sour Patch Kid. He starts out okay. Who do I want to work with that I haven't worked with? I've been dying to do something with Judge Judy.
Holy shit, dude. This is like the fifth city you've said Judge Judy. I think...
I fucking love that lady.
Just so you know, she has the ability to give her own self a fucking restraining order. You know that, right? She'll be like, I need a restraining order. I approve my own restraining order. There you go. consider yourself served. It's fucking gonna be bailiff Bird. Bird, could you hand him the restraining order?
But
And then
that
be like, I
means-
love Bird.
If he works with Judge Judy, though, that means he either is giving money or somebody's giving him money.
Listen, all I know is I want to hear her tell him, listen, Jeff, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. That's all. That's all I want to hear.
At some point, I'm going to sue Trevor, and you will see us on that show.
I think
man,
some other
what I wouldn't-
celebrity's
I
going to be in
would pay
line
any
to
amount of money
sue
to
him.
do that.
I just want to hear Judge Judy say, show me on the doll where they touched you.
For me, I would love either like a Ewan McGregor or Liam Neeson kind of movie I'd love to work with. Or any of the writers of the new fucking Andor. Oh my God, that show is so good.
So you want to be a Jedi?
I don't have to be a Jedi. I could be just someone in the rebellion. I mean, think of this is the best offshoot series I think that they've done on Disney Plus, which is Andor. I feel bad because the Obi-Wan Kenobi show I felt was a little weak in the writing area. I can imagine you and McGregor going after watching Andor going,
what
what
the
the
hell?
fuck? Where were these writers for me? But no, whatever. So I think now that Iger's back to run Disney, I think he'll be like, put these guys in charge of all the Disney products. But I thought it was really, really good. But yeah, I would love to work. That's my childhood kind of universe that I would like, listen, I totally want to be a part of. I don't have to be a Jedi. Fuck, I'll be part of the ISB. I don't give a fuck. You know, do something. I would love to do it. And if you're
Shut the fuck up, Dak.
I know. Thank God I was at least the Dak in our movie. Go ahead.
Marilyn?
Yeah, with any of them.
Anybody.
Anybody. Because
Anybody.
that means I'd be on some popular show or movie. Yeah,
Wow,
any
you're
of
only
them.
pissing on the fact of our popularity. Jesus Christ, Marilyn. We're in the room. I want to be on something popular, like we're not popular.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you worked into it.
No,
I saw
you
it.
reworded that. You reworded that in a totally negative way. I said, I'm saying that all the stuff that's here, it's popular. So yeah, any of them. And I would work with any of you guys in a heartbeat.
All right.
So there.
Well, work your way up digging out of this hole.
Don't
What are you going
go
to work
putting
on?
words in my mouth.
What are you going to work on?
I don't know.
I want to be
No
on the
favorite?
Sandman.
38.
Any of
I'm wearing
them.
Sandman shoes.
All right, here we go.
Your question.
Hi, I'm just curious. Way back when, how did you guys all come to meet Trevor in your first impression, or of Kevin in your first impression, especially
And Trevor.
now, especially you, Trevor, coming in with Clerks II,
I'll pay you later.
being younger than the cast. Like, how was your interaction with Kevin, the first one?
I started working with Kevin. I was the production office coordinator on Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And my office was outside Scott Mosier's. And he came out first out of his office and said, what do you want to fucking do? I said, I want your job. He goes, fucking take it. Come with me. And he walked me directly into Kevin's office and he goes, this guy wants my fucking job. Give it to him. And he walked out and Kevin said, sit down. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to get Scott Mosier's fucking job right now. I was that green and naive. But that's how I got in with Kevin. I started on Jay and Silent Bob and just kind of never left for a long time.
I met Kevin because I did a movie with Jeff called Now You Know, and Kevin does a bit part in that, and it's a really funny movie, so Kevin asked me to do Clerks II. I remember we went to, you were there when I met Kevin. We went to, I think, Jan's Diner in Hollywood and had lunch. And I just remember, I think the salient thing I remember is he was one of the few people I met in my short stint in show business who was pretty much exactly how he appeared to be. His persona is more or less exactly who he is, on a personal level. I thought that was nice.
And I went to high school with Kevin. We actually graduated the same year. And I had some very compromising pictures of him. It's like, I will be in your movie, right?
It worked.
Oh, the Henry Hudson years.
I auditioned for him. He held auditions at the First Avenue Playhouse, which was the local community theater in his town. And he was like, well, I need actors for this movie. Where can I find them? Of course, they all hang out for some reason at the Playhouse. So he went to the owners there and asked them, hey, could you call up your stable of actors? This is before the internet and before everybody had a cell phone, where you literally had to put an ad in the paper like, hey, we're auditioning for a movie in this area, blah, blah, blah. And I came down on the second night of auditions and auditioned for it. And same thing with Marilyn.
Yeah, same for me.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the question.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Clerks 1 and 2 are so funny and wonderful, and so is Clerks 3.
Okay,
but it
weird
takes-
that you-
no, but it ha-
You're drawing lines already.
Here
I
it
get
comes.
Uh-oh.
I have to watch how
worded
you
all
say
of that
things
wrong.
with these guys. Yeah.
Somebody wants a refund.
I worded all of that wrong. No, when you first started reading through the script and realized it was going to be such an emotional roller coaster that you were going to take us all on. Thank you for that. It was lovely. It was beautiful. I cried like ugly in the bathtub. Cried. How did you start to prepare for that? And also, what were your initial thoughts when you're like, this is going to get really real and emotional?
Am I the only one who got horny reading it? Is that just me?
Oh, no.
That's my answer. I don't know.
Jeff? All right. For the third one, for those who haven't seen it, it does take you on a really funny ride that then gets kind of emotional and heavy and stuff, but yet still heartwarming at the end. All pun intended. For preparing that one, I knew that this might be the last movie for all of us in general, that I was like, you know what, maybe I'll put some work into this fucking thing for once. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll learn the lines and figure out what this character is feeling, whatever. It used to be just dick and fart jokes would get us through, but not anymore. But it was fun knowing who I was going to be working with opposite of, and Rosario was an incredibly gifted and obviously giving actress, and being able to be reunited with people like Marilyn and Jeff and stuff like that. I just decided I'm going to really put into it, and I hope it paid off.
It did. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi. My question is for Jeff. So Randall kind of has an iconic dance. I was just kind of curious if that was you that came up with that, or how you came up with that.
Iconic dance. Your Randall. He's calling it an iconic dance.
I think we just went through this.
Yeah.
It was my one night. It was my one night off from filming. And Kevin asked, "What are you going to do tonight?" And I said, "I'm putting my Wranglers on and I'm going out." And that was it.
It doesn't really answer the question, does it? The question is, where did you come up? The fuck? The question is, where did you come up with it? And you're like, I just kind of did.
That's just what I do. I come up with shit.
That's fair. That's
Sounds
true.
good. Thank
I've
you.
seen that happen. Thanks, man.
He's coming back. Don't worry. He's coming back.
Was he so offended by that question? He's like, I'm out of here. That offended.
He wants his own
A little
iconic
break.
dance.
He needs a quick break.
Hello. Yes. Batman. Yes. Your question.
My name's Mark, and my question was for Brian.
Oh.
Oh no.
He anticipated this and took off.
Good timing on that, Mark.
Like, Brian, how does Dante get all the girls?
Do you have a non-Brian or Halloran question, or maybe we could answer it? We could help you out.
Hopefully you guys can answer it.
Okay, go for it.
I have pretty much all the movies that you guys are in. The Clerks, the Amy's, the cartoon Clerks. Have it all. You guys are great. I'm the kind of guy that likes to watch after the credits. And I was wondering, there's a scene.
I didn't know where that sentence was going to go, brother. I'm sorry.
glad that there were
I had to
more
laugh
words.
at that.
I wanted that sentence to just end after, I'm the
You can
kind
tell
of
me and
guy who
Trevor
likes to
just about
watch.
fell out.
But there's a scene where a guy comes into the store and shot Dante. And I was wondering, did you guys wasn't going to make another one? What about that little scene?
Yeah, I mean, I think Kevin has said he sort of didn't have a plot to the movie, so that was his idea of inserting a plot, was to just kill him at the end. And I was all for it. The only thing I said was Randall should have shot him. I would have been fine with that.
Have you seen the third one?
No, not yet.
Watch the third one. That kind of answers the question.
Boy, are you in for a fucking surprise.
I'll be watching that when I get home.
It's streaming everywhere now, sir. For a mere $9.99, you can watch the whole movie.
Thank
But
you.
they address that. They do
Yeah.
address that. So that'll answer all your questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Keaton.
Thanks, man.
Hi.
Hi.
Your question.
Apparently I'm short. This is sort of a 1.5 part question. Oh, Brian's back.
You missed your question, man.
No remorse. It's like,
I didn't say no remorse. What was the question?
no. It was. We'll tell you in a second. Sorry.
You can answer it.
Well, I don't know the question. What am I going to answer?
No.
Yes, I
Yes.
did, and I'll do it again. I had 2 beers. Sorry. Tiny bladder.
I think his question was the end credits of Clerks II where you got shot.
What was it?
He was the guy before this young woman was.
The guy who said "fuck it" and sat down. He said he wanted to know about the death scene at the end of Clerks 1.
Yeah.
When you get shot.
Oh, I hated it when we first read about it in the first script, to the point where I brought it up to Kevin, and I was like, yo, why are you killing me off, kind of thing. I never said, oh, what if there's a sequel? That's his funny spin on it. But yeah, I hated it. But hey, eventually it caught up to me, right? There you go.
If he would have just killed Randall off, we'd be on Clerks like 48 by now.
It's true.
So, Ming, I've been to the comic shop in New Jersey.
Thank you very much.
I was wondering what your favorite thing that's gotten brought in that you've seen, and if you have that thing. And I was wondering what everybody else's prized nerdy possession would
From
be.
the ViewAskew Universe?
Oh, just in general, like your personal.
Gotcha. Ming?
From comic book men, I'm a big G.I. Joe fan. I'm an 80s kid. So somebody brought in there was a 7-foot aircraft carrier that they made back in the 80s called the USS Flag. Some of you G.I. Joe collectors might remember that one. It was like the first, it's like one of the biggest toys ever made. It was like the first $100 toy ever released. And when I saw it in the catalog, I was like, oh my God, I need that. And my mom basically flat out told me I would never own it. It's an era where G.I. Joe figures were $3 each, so might as well put $1 million. And I tried the thing where I was like, you don't have to buy me a birthday or Christmas present for the next 20 years, and it didn't work. But then a guy brought it in literally 30 years later,
that's dope.
And I had comic book men money, so I bought that thing, and it was
nice.
It was pretty awesome.
And it's now your bar at your house. You put drinks all over it, right?
It's my bed, because my
it's
wife
your
was
bed?
like, you bought that? Yeah, you're not sleeping in the bed with me ever again.
I sleep in a race
It looks
car.
good in the
You sleep
garage.
in a race car.
Marilyn, what do you have? You have any memorabilia that's your prize memorabilia?
I have to say one especially. And a few years ago, we did a convention on New Year's Eve, and we did a roasting of Stan Lee, and Brian was the host. But the fact that I got to be up there as well, but we had a photo that was taken at the end of the stage, and it's signed by everybody that was on that stage, and Stan Lee as well. So that definitely is a position that I'll never have again.
Both, all three of us, Ming, Marilyn, and myself, were part of this celebrity roast, which we're still trying to buy the rights to because the convention literally went broke on the Saturday of the convention. Like they couldn't afford to pay anybody. So some production company owns the rights to that comedy roast of Stan Lee, and it's the same level of quality you see on Comedy Central kind of comedy roast. And I was the roast master, generalist, so to speak, just like Ross. And it was one of the funnest times ever, and it's the only autograph that I have from Stan Lee, actually.
Yeah, it's the same.
Is the poster of the comedy roast of Stan Lee, and he was such a credible sport. We tore the shit out of him, like unbelievable, like hilarious. Like I was like, listen, Stan, your catchphrase, Excelsior, let's be honest. Is that what you say when you and your wife are in mid-coitus and you're about to finish? So literally Ming Na Wen got his wife on the phone, and he's like, honey, they want to know when we're having sex, that when I say Excelsior, and she was like, oh, you've said other things, and I was just like,
gold. It was awesome.
Stan Lee loves my fucking joke. I am going to super heaven. It's going to be awesome. So he was a saint.
Didn't they have a term? He didn't call it sex. Didn't they call it their violent sessions?
Their violent sessions.
Their violent
he called it.
sessions.
Which I was like, yo, what do you get all fucking Hulk mad and smash that ass? Like, what's up with that? They'd be like, yeah, you don't want to see me angry, Miss Lee. He'd be laughing right now. Stop it.
I could never unsee that.
Am I the only one who's getting horny?
I was gonna say, why would you want to
No.
Do you have
there's
hold on, we skipped Jeff.
Oh, my bad.
Jeff, what do you got?
Prized possession.
Could be anything, sports, whatever.
I'm not really a collector of anything. I don't.
Although
really...
you did find out someone that you love is a fan.
I did. We did a con in San Francisco. I'm a huge Broncos fan, and one of the guys that was working behind the scenes in the show is the guy who books the hotels for the Broncos. And he said, we were just bullshitting about the Broncos, and I said, oh, I had a dog named Elway, and he's like, do you know John Elway loves Clerks? That was really big for.
The fuck was that?
That's you. Sorry, that was the wrong thing. That wasn't a shit on John Elway. That was you going, John Elway likes what? That's all. It was a bad attempt.
He did have to go to the bathroom after he found out that.
That's fairly accurate.
I know your love of Elway.
Trevor, take a line from Trevor. Am I the only one getting horny here?
Trevor,
my catchphrase.
What do you have? Some memorabilia or poster or something?
I don't have it yet. But in the secret stash in New Jersey that you were talking about, there's a piece of art that somebody brought in there, and it's me, Jeff, Brian, Kevin, and Jay as the Sailor Moon girls. And I'm going to stage an Ocean's 11 style heist one of these days and fucking rappel from the ceiling and snatch that thing and make out like a thief in the night.
I have a key to the store.
Oh, yeah, I can just ask you. Yeah, you're right, that's easier.
If you want a night
No,
of...
now you got to go, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Even with the key, he'd rather go through the ceiling.
Apparently, yeah, if you want me to hang you from the roof and like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, so you want to set up the motion detector, we can do that.
Ming, which Ocean's 11 character are you?
I would be the amazing Yen.
Yeah,
where
okay.
the fuck
I didn't
are
want
you
to
guys?
say.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't want to go
That
there.
would be me.
What about you, Zach? Any type of memorabilia that you're like, yo, I love this shit?
After Clerks II, they made these in action figures, and then there was a mock-up of a Kinky Kelly and the sexy stud. So comes with a donkey, and then me, detachable dicks.
Wait,
Big
what?
one, very
Why?
small one. Oh yeah, it came with pieces and shit.
Why were the dicks detachable?
Because you could either get the big one, or you could get the small one.
It's
I prefer you went with the bigger one.
It's all inclusive, buddy. Not everybody. You know what I mean?
It was going to come with a set, and it was going to come with a can of Crisco. It was going to come with all that shit. But I've got the mock-up. Kevin gave it to me, and I've got it in my office. Yeah, it's kind of neat.
What's this? Oh, I'm just getting a text. Zach, you've been booked at Exotica Con.
Booyah!
Yeah, Washington,
look
D.C.
at you.
Getting out the outfit.
With a sponsor from Flashlight.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you for your question.
Thank
By the
you
way,
for-
how did you get a crew shirt from Mallrats?
No, they made those for they mass produced those
they did?
like a couple years ago.
Fucking
yeah.
Kevin.
Of course
It
they
wasn't
did. It's Kevin.
mass-produced.
Fucking
There was
Kevin
only,
making the dollar.
Maybe 100 of them that were sold.
Yeah,
There was-
they're very rare.
The crew had colored ones, but then they released.
Yeah, there was
like,
two
a small
ones. There was the
handful
yellow
of the
one
black
and that
white
one. Yeah.
I'm so happy you saw
You
this shirt.
No,
'cause
of course.
It's been so hard to keep this white over the years.
No, I just always thought oh, did your dad work on Mallrats? Like, how the fuck did someone
wish.
so young? All right, we have literally 2 speed round questions, and we're done. We've been given the 5-minute warning.
Go for it.
Hi. I was wondering when you guys have been playing these characters for so long and you guys are all naturally really funny.
Well, except Trevor.
Yeah.
Fair
Sorry,
point.
Trevor.
No, I mean, we all know it's true.
Did you have any moments where you were on set and you ended up going off script? Like maybe you guys just kind of started improvising. Did any of those moments
Is
ever
Seth
make
Rogen
it
here?
in?
Is he? Oh, no.
Did any of those moments ever make it into the films, or is there something that didn't make it in that you guys wish had?
I got a good answer to this question. Something that I wish had made it into the film. But does anyone else want to go first?
No, go
Okay,
ahead.
I
Just
take
don't
this
take all night. We only have 2 minutes.
So in the Clerks 3, so for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm sorry, but in the Clerks 3, there's that scene where Jeff runs over to Jay and Bob, and he's like, hey, I need help with Dante, and Jay's like, who's Dante? And he's like, the other guy who's not me, and Jay's like, I thought that guy's name was Sergio. I thought that was really funny. And we were shooting at the graveyard in the last scene, and we had a crane. I don't know if you remember how that shot starts. The crane comes down. So we had a crane that day, and they were getting Jay's coverage. And we were sitting around being bored, and I turned to Jay, I said, I think it'd be really funny if you got down on, at the end of the scene, if you got down on your knees and we did the crane shot pulling up, and you just went, Sergio! And we shot that, and they didn't put it in the movie. I know. And I asked Kevin to his face once, like, why would you do this to me? He was like, it just wasn't right for the
But
scene.
you know what?
And I'm like, I know it wasn't right for the scene.
But you know
point,
what?
kind of.
You know what, Trevor? The DVD Blu-ray is coming out December 7th. Maybe it's on the deleted scenes.
I hope so. Please, God, it's so funny. Jay does a really funny. He says it in a really funny way too. It's really.
What about you, Zach? Any improv in your session in the Clerks 2?
I was just trying to think, as Kevin's so economical in the way he shoots, kind of what's on the script. When I was working with Kevin, there wasn't really a lot of playing around, and then we started working with Seth Rogen, and that kind of went out the window, but it was only for Seth. Everybody else kind of had to stick to it, so I don't really have. I was trying to think like what got left on the floor, and I can't remember.
Jeff, any off-book shenanigans that you can think of that you liked? Yeah. I mean, your wrangle actually was an improv that wasn't meant to be even filmed until he's like, yo, we'll put that in the movie. Marilyn?
I got nothing. Yeah, because we had to stick to the script pretty much.
Yes, Kevin is a very much a script, like stick to the script, fucko. And
I mean,
like 90%, like 98% for Clerks 2. For Clerks 1, rather. Clerks 2 is probably about 92%, and we could fuck around with something, which was more like Ben Affleck and stuff like that. And then when it came to Clerks 3, we had like a couple of days, like a week beforehand, we were all brought into Jersey to do a reading and rehearse at a table at a house that Kevin was doing his, staying at during the entire production. And during the first one, Kevin was kind of on his laptop while we would go through the script, and he'd be like, well, why don't we try this? Or Trevor would say something off script, and he's like, ooh, I like that, but why don't we do it like this? Or Jeff would say something, and then be like, well, what if we did this? And so I say for Clerks 3, we probably had 85% scripted, and like 15% of us kind of like, well, what if we tried this kind of thing? It was the most, give and take ever.
Is it making anyone else insecure how much fun they're having over there? Like, I want to go to their party, I think.
The only thing that I can remember was after I say, wanna fuck, then he kept shouting out certain words. It's like, say this, say that,
Do it
say
like
this.
this, do it like this.
And it wound up just being, wanna fuck?
Yeah.
One time on Clerks 2, just real quick, I can't remember what shot we were setting up for. I just remember before they called action, I got this little spark of an improv idea in my head. I'm going to ad-lib this line. It's going to be hilarious. And I said it, and then there was a brief silence, and then I hear Kevin from the circus just go, not funny.
That's funny, because it happens at dinner usually. Trevor, not funny. Can I get to
Bye,
the
Adam
dinner
Nickel.
question? There you go. Thank you so much. Final question, everybody. Let's see what happens
Make
here.
it good.
Make it good.
Hi. My question is, were there any scenes that you guys shot that you were surprised didn't make into the final cut of
Well,
the movie?
he told you about the Sergio scene.
Yeah.
Jeff?
The one scene I was disappointed was in Clerks 2, there's a scene of Brian and I in the car where I talk about how Brian can impregnate his own mother by jerking off in the bathroom.
That's a good one, yeah.
And I was really sad to see
Me
that
too.
scene go.
Clerks 3, there's a scene with Cecily Strong from Saturday Night Live, very beginning of the film, and it's a commentary about Karens in general, and it was about some sort of just a kind of disgruntled kind of way that change is handed back and forth, and she starts videotaping the whole encounter, and Randall knows that whenever he's going to run into a Karen, he has a fucking play that he does. And the play is to videotape it himself and then pulls a string and all this glitter falls on the person. And we shot it, and the poor girl covered in glitter, but it never made the film. Hopefully that's another deleted scene. But Cecily Strong in general was so fucking a professional and hilarious, and also just a big fan that she was on. She was super geeked to be a part of this whole series, and then to be cut out, I just felt so bad for her. Thankfully, they told her before the premiere, so she didn't show up going into with all her family, listen, watch, what? Because you would literally know within the first 5 minutes that it didn't happen.
There was a really hardcore sex scene with Elias and Zach in the jail in Clerks 2 that they cut out for some reason.
But I've got the footage.
Why was no one else there when we shot that?
I don't care. I watch it often.
Okay.
It's like
I
all my
miss
scenes.
my pillow pants.
Thankfully, all my scenes made it, but there's an outtake that I hope makes the DVD that I throw a script at Randall, and I kind of missed where I was actually aiming,
Yeah, in the movie, if you've seen it, she throws the script back to Randall. It's like, well, I'm not going to be a part of your film. He's like, yeah, easy with my art. Literally, like the first take, she throws it at Jeff. Second take, she throws it at Jeff, and ooh, ring the bell. It was like, oh,
Hey, be careful with my art. I literally was really, don't mess up the scene by laughing. I was just like,
because the coverage was on her when she threw it, so it hit him in the groin, but that wasn't on camera.
No. It was when I actually hit him where I didn't want to. That was on.
Was
you
it on
guys.
us?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it was.
There you
It
go.
was the camera was on you guys.
Yet he didn't cut. He didn't cut away. He was like, I'm totally filming this shit.
Totally used it. Yeah.
Well done, my friend. And with that, unfortunately, we're out of time, but you guys will be here all weekend?
All weekend
All right,
long.
come see them at their tables.
The show floor ends right now at 8 o'clock, but also we'll be here all weekend long. Tomorrow and Sunday, Rosario Dawson will be here. Oh, come on. All right, now. And Kevin will only be here tomorrow, so get your tickets now while you can. Jay's doing a separate Q&A, and Kevin's doing a separate Q&A on their own, so get your tickets for that as well. Give it around. Give love for Ming Chen, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks,
thank
Ming.
you very much.
The hardest working man, and I'd never see him home. I think his wife has forgotten who he is. That's how
No,
he's
she
never
totally
home.
has. So, but hey, I'm in Ohio. It doesn't matter. This is way better than home. So, don't tell her that. Don't tell her I said that. Thank you guys. Thank you, Columbus,
everybody.
for coming out.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, GalaxyCon. Thank you, Marilyn Ghigliotti, Brian O'Halloran, Jeff Anderson, Trevor Fehrman, and Zach Knutson. Thank you guys very much. Group picture. Group picture.